iron shirt. Can you tell if someone's ironed their shirt or not?
Yeah.
How can you tell?
And that wrinkles.
Because it has wrinkles. So this says without stain or without what? So the Apostle Paul is talking about a garment. So what else, what other depiction does he have about this garment? How else does he describe this garment?
Without stains.
Okay, so it's without stain, it's without wrinkle. What else? It's glorious. It's brilliant. It's shining. So ladies, help me out here for just a moment. What is a garment that you might wear that is radiant, without stain, without wrinkle, that is absolutely beautiful? What kind of garment might that be?
Wedding dress.
A wedding dress. This is where we get the picture of the wedding dress. If you go to a liturgical church, churches that have the traditions, like when the gospel reading is being read, Mr. Lazel, what happens in church? What do the people do when the gospel is being read?
Stand.
Why?
A way of honoring Christ.
That Christ is present among us. So, when the bride comes into the church and she walks down the aisle, what does everybody do? Why? Because she's a reminder that this is how God looks at us. She is clothed in the righteousness and the forgiveness of God. It's not just, wow, do you look beautiful today? It's not just the, hey, here's the bride and we're honoring her. We are saying when God looks at you, he looks at you as his dearly loved, fully forgiven, cherished to the child of God. And it's a reminder that Christ has done his work here, that he has clothed us in forgiveness. So ladies, when you look at yourself, God looks at you as his precious creation, fully restored, dearly loved child of God. And the wedding is actually a reminder of that. Let's go on to the next section then. Then after this, the reading continues with, what verse did you leave off?
28.
Thank you. Could I have, let's see, Tyler, would you jump in and help me at verse 28, please?
Yeah, let me get back to it. Ephesians 5:28?
Yep.
Okay. Hold on. Yeah. In this same way, husbands ought to love their wives as their own bodies. He who loves his wife loves himself. Keep going.
Man, yeah. You know, you read that quick. Why don't you go ahead and just slow down a little bit for me? Thanks.
In this same way, the husbands ought to love their wives as their own bodies. He who loves his wife loves himself.
Wow. So the way a man treats a woman is a testimony to what they think about God and what they think about themselves. That's how we best model our faith. Keep going.
After all, no one ever hated their own body. They feed and care for their body just as Christ does the church.
No one ever hated their own body except in America, and we all hate our bodies. I wish I was taller. I wish I was bigger. I wish I was smaller. I wish. And the Apostle Paul uses this phrase, it's not hate your bodies, it's don't hurt your bodies because they're an instrument to be used for good. That's what that phrase means. He's using a Greek phrase of the day. And now the really important section. Go for it.
For we are members of his body.
Yep, keep going.
For this reason, a man will leave his father and mother and be united to his wife, and the two will become one flesh.
We're almost there.
This is a profound mystery, but I am talking about Christ and the church.
Ladies and gentlemen, pay close attention to the following words.
However, each one of you also must love his wife as he loves himself, and the wife must respect her husband.
Okay. The last word, the wife must what? Okay. It started out with what word? Submit. And it got to where? Okay. Started out with submit. Now it's respect. Started out with submit, but now it's respect. It ends with respect, but it started with submit. Do you guys get what I'm trying to say here? One more time. It started with, and it ends with, I don't believe you. I just don't believe that all of you with me here. So let's try it again. It starts with,
Submit.
thank you. And it ends with,
Respect.
it starts with,
Submit.
ends with,
Respect.
ends with,
Respect.
begins with.
Submit.
How do you get there? The middle. The way husbands treat their wives. When you, Jesus, your wife, the way Jesus, the church, there's this powerful, amazing thing that happens. And it ends up with respect. A survey was taken amongst a large slew, collection of men and women. And they had to choose between two categories. Okay? if you only could choose one, and yes, I know they're interrelated, but if they had to choose between one or the other, women dramatically chose one over the other one, and guys chose one dramatically over that one, okay? There were two categories, and in this survey, these were the two categories that they were to choose from, and that lined up almost universally, okay? Here's the two words. Respect and love.
You
Move
can
on
erase,
past the submission, man.
you can erase the other stuff on the board if you need more. That's
You know what? I believe people's faith may be hinging on this. I am
Well,
not.
it's actually my artistic representation of 1 Corinthians 8,
Oh,
the food offered to idols section.
that's cool.
So that's my idol I made of frostiness.
So you want to build us?
Oh, I catch your drift. Yeah, you're welcome. All for you. Yeah. So, women almost universally chose one, and guys almost universally chose the other one. What are our two words?
Respect.
Love and respect. Okay. Guys, this isn't going to be hard for you. Be quiet for a moment. Ladies, which one do you think which one did the women choose? Why is that?
We strive on relationships.
Yeah, you're big on relationships, and what was that? But don't speak for her, because I think she can do this. Hold on, let me write this down.
Okay.
Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
I said what she said.
Oh!
But I started before her, so mine counts more.
Good answer. What did you say?
Just that we strive on relationships.
I know you just drive on relationships. You want to be loved. Okay. Ladies, do you want your husbands to love you when you feel beautiful? Do you want them to love you when you feel ugly? Seriously, do you want them to love you when you feel ugly? Do you want them to love you on good days? Do you want them to love you on bad days? Do you want them to love you when you deserve it? Do you want them to love you when you absolutely don't deserve it? Do you want them to love you when you're quiet and sad?
Yeah.
Do you want them to love you when you're ridiculous and outrageous and bold? So basically, you want your husbands to love you when?
All the time.
Even when you don't deserve it?
Yeah.
That's a pretty high expectation, don't you think? So, guys, given the category, and the women have already answered it for us, but we can still think that you can pull it out of your waffle-like brains.
Waffle.
Which one do the guys choose almost universally?
Respect.
Respect. Gentlemen, do you want your wives to respect you when you deserve it?
Yeah.
Do you want your wives to respect you when you don't deserve it?
Yeah.
Do you want your wives to respect you on good days? On bad days?
Yeah.
When you hurt them? I was miffed at my wife because I've worked really hard the last 3 days, and she didn't say, "Oh, you're my hero." That's not how my wife talks. You're my hero because you work so hard. I long, more than anyone else in the world, I want to hear my wife say she's proud of me. I long for the respect of my wife. Just like women long for love even when they don't deserve it, guys long for respect even when they don't deserve it. And when we get mad at each other, guys withhold love. And what do women withhold? Respect. Our sinful nature that does this is, right now our relationship is in peril or it's hurting. Guys will withhold love as punishment, and women will withhold respect. In the image and in the likeness of Christ, what we do is we love, not because the person deserves it, but because they need it. And we respect, not because the person deserves it, because they need it. And so we ally together around it. And so women, the way you speak to your husbands, when you do so with respect, is what gets the relationship back on track again. And guys, the way you love your wife, even when you're angry or upset or think she doesn't deserve it, is what gets the relationship back on track again. Because men long for respect, and women long for what?
Love.
Love. They do. They long for love. just as much as guys long for respect. Ladies, here's a suggestion for you. When you speak of your boyfriend or of your husband, when you speak about him in public, speak well of him. Things like this: I'm so grateful for the way that he takes care of me. I'm grateful for the way that he often sacrifices what he wants for me. If you're in our youth director, Matt Walton, does a fantastic job. He is a great youth director. And I told his wife the other day, with him standing right there, I went up to her and I said these words: I want you to know how much I appreciate how your husband makes a difference in our ministry here. What he does in our community is not only uniquely special, but he has brought so much value and light to our youth, but also to me as a person. He rocks it around here. What did that do for her? What did that do for her?
Yeah.
A little, not much. She appreciated it. What did it do for him? Mr. Lazo, what do you think it did for him?
A lot.
Yep. Because?
Because he longs for, respect and appreciation for what he's doing.
Yep. And so, ladies, when you speak well of your spouse in public, it is an awesome thing. Puts a lot of great deposits in the bank. And when you speak poorly of your spouse in public, it causes great harm and damage. Because a guy's greatest fear are two things: that they'll be irrelevant and that they won't be respected. It's a guy's two greatest fears. And a woman's greatest fears are that they won't be valued and they won't be loved. Our greatest fears. What are you going to remember about our time here today? As we talked about love, respect, Adam, Eve, man, woman, all those things. What are you going to remember about today? And I'd like to hear from everyone here. Otherwise, no. So where am I going to start? Who am I going to start with? Excellent. Thanks for throwing yourself first, because
Coin.
I don't have to reuse anybody's.
exactly. You're a smart man. Good job.
That the women demand respect, and the women demand love. Actually, listen, don't worry.
Yep.
The women demand love, and men demand respect. It's kind of, I never thought of it that way. It's kind of
Right.
cool.
Awesome. Yeah.
I thought it was interesting that men think about the